Try it again. That was
for a loop. I do.
Yeah, that was a weird game. Coyotes definitely showed a lot of effort, a lot of heart, but couldn't get it done and fall 4-3 to the Colorado Avalanche. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show. Hit that like button, please. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Craig. We got Danielle behind the scenes. 9 straight losses. Woohoo!
Welcome back, by the way, Danielle, from your Cooperstown induction. That was a cool ceremony for you.
They have a great article, too. That was really cool.
That was awesome, by the way. That was so cool.
If you haven't seen it, go to the Hall of Fame. I don't know how to do it.
Baseball Hall of Fame Twitter, not a big deal.
I know, but
exactly.
I don't know how to find stuff. So just Google something and you'll find it. There's a great article on Danielle. Really, really good.
Just Google something.
I don't know. I found it. So if I found it, somebody else can find it.
That's true.
All right. Well, let's talk about this game, huh?
Yeah. I thought they were okay tonight. They couldn't keep up with Colorado over those second 2 periods. You saw the shot totals, and that's a really, really talented team. But I thought the Coyotes came with a pretty good effort tonight. So, I guess it's the kind of effort that you would like to see from a team riding an 8-game losing streak.
Yeah, I think a lot of things here. I think when you look at the first period, and we've talked a lot about how badly this team has played in the first period, I think the jumbling of lines, specifically taking Nick Schmaltz off of the top line, I think that gives guys a little wake-up call. I think that's a little shock to the system. You go, oh, if they can move Nick Schmaltz around, maybe I better pick it up. So I really thought their effort in the first period was excellent. I know they gave up one in the first 5 minutes, which is unfortunate, but they come back and they get the next 2 and they take the lead. They're up 2-1 after the first intermission, and you thought they outshot them. I thought they were, this Colorado team's outstanding, and the Coyotes skated with them. I think the first period was great. I think people would take positives for that, and I think that you get through the first 20 minutes, and you could see for the first time in a long time that there was a little more fight there. And I think that the guys, I don't know if it was a talk from Coach Tourigny, I don't know if it was closed door meetings, I don't know what it was, but you could definitely sense that there was going to be a better effort tonight once you saw the first 15 minutes of this game.
Absolutely. And for this team to come out of the first period up a goal in another city, especially against a team like Colorado, who's honestly, they've been struggling a little bit too. I thought that was a really good sign. And you're so right. There's been so many moments in this losing streak where it just feels like there's no heart and no effort. And that's the thing that's really frustrating. This is the type of loss that's easier to swallow because you saw the effort. And there were also a lot of weird things that happened in this game. We saw overturned calls, overturned goals, a crazy number of penalties on both sides that were just questionable. So it was just one of those weird games, but I thought that overall the Coyotes really held their own against a team that's playoff bound and honestly, in the running to be a Stanley Cup contender if they can, clean up a few things, but that's for the DNVR Avs people to discuss. So we'll discuss the numbers of this one presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Shots on goal, 37-30 Colorado. Pretty close in the end. Power play, Yotes 1 for 6. Crazy number of power play opportunities finally converted on the power play. Avs 0 for 4, which was lucky, especially considering one of those was a 4-minute double minor. Face-offs were a little bit in the Avs' favor. Shot attempts 66 to the Coyotes 48.
Yeah, you know what? The shots on goal was impressed me the most here. The last time they got 30 goals in a regulation game was back when they went to Florida at 24 on the 24th of January. This team doesn't have a high shot volume. I thought that was impressive, especially the amount of shots they had in the first period. The power play, they get the goal, and that's huge. I still think they're finding their way, and I'm waiting for Coach Tourigny to start making some changes on that power play. I don't know, and I'm sorry, did Barrett Hayton get any PP time today at all? I'm sorry, I should have known that. Yeah, he got a lot. So he's getting there. He got a lot more time. So he did get back into that spot. He still got Zucker in that top group. But good to see Barrett Hayton back in there. It's a good effort. It's positive. Again, it's positive. But 2 things. One, this is not a Stanley Cup Colorado Avalanche team. I don't care. I'll fight DNVR on that one. That team's not there yet. They've got a long way to go. They don't have the secondary scoring they had to. The goaltending, I'll still die on that hill. This kid can't win him a Stanley Cup. So that's one thing. But two, the Coyotes got to defend better. And when you're in games like this, you're playing one of the best offensive lines in hockey. You need to defend better. And I still struggle with the way they defend. Overall, I like the effort. Overall, I think there was good positives because they created offense. Crouse created offense for a first time in a long time. Cooley looked much, much better offensively. So offensively, a lot of bright spots, still the same issues in the back end.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about some of those defensive issues a little bit later on. We have a couple Petey's Puck Talks coming down the line, so stick around for that. But yeah, you mentioned the offense. It started off with Matt Dumba, by the way, who heard us, I guess, on the DNVR Avs pregame show talking about maybe has he done enough for his value? Well, he must have heard that, scored a goal. He had a good night, actually, overall. In the first period alone, he had a goal, 2 drawn penalties, and 3 hits. So, I know he kind of screened Veggie on that last Avs goal and oopsie, but I thought overall this was a really solid game from Matt Dumba, who has had some not so solid games in his Coyotes tenure so far overall.
Yeah. And I know we talked about him on the pregame show with Rudo. I think Matt Dumba's going to draw some interest from teams. Teams are always looking for depth on their blue line. Come playoff time, he's a guy who's battle tested. He's a big hitter. There's a lot of things that he can bring to your team in a depth role. I do think he will draw some interest. I think he's one of the guys that's probably going to be on the move at the deadline.
Yeah, one of the things he did tonight, too, he's got a goal and an assist, so that's great. He ends up being a positive player. But the other thing is he had 4 hits. And when he's involved and engaged physically, he's a better player. He led all players on both teams with 4 hits, and I thought it made a difference in the game. And you talk about his rush on that one where he's actually in the blue paint where he gets his goal, where he's driving the net. He's got that in his game. He's got the offensive side. The problem, and I hate to do it because I'm always pessimistic Petey, the problem is when he rushes like that, someone's got to defend. And on that last goal where he's screening and then the goal gets created on the winning goal, Dumba's the first guy in the offensive zone. He's the last guy back into the defensive zone. And instead of picking up the wing spot, he goes to the front of the net in an area he probably shouldn't have been. So the defenseman that he should have been covering gets the clean shot, ultimately the goal that goes through him that he's screening. Instead of screening, he should have been covering the defenseman because now he's a winger. But that's a whole nother thing for Petey's Puck Talk. So if he's going to go first offensively, this team has to do a better job of covering up by the center or the wing to play defense. Now you're a defenseman. I think teams need to have their defenders jump in play. I think the best teams in the league have their defenders jump in the play, but you also have to realize when you do that, someone has to defend.
Well, Matt Dumba, he has earned our praise tonight, and he's also earned the Desert Dog. Matt Dumba has that Desert Dog in him. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points on the night, plus all of those other intangibles that we talked about earlier. So congrats, Matt Dumba, who I think he's the subject of a lot of discussion in our Discord, it seems like almost every day. So, there you go. It's still going. It's still going. Jeez.
Yeah, you can't control it. Sorry.
Oh boy. Another guy who's been kind of off the score sheet as of late and has found his way back, Lawson Crouse. Big milestone goal for him tonight. His first goal since January 25th, his 20th goal of the season, and his 100th career goal. So a huge milestone for him. It was also a power play goal, which again, that kind of broke the ice. So there was a lot going on in that one goal, but really happy for Lawson Crouse to achieve that milestone. And, he's well on pace to break his all-time goal record in a single season.
Yeah, 3 straight 20 goals too. So you like to see that sort of consistency, right? Again, a lot of people question Lawson Crouse and the contract and all that. I know he's had a little bit of a slump here, production-wise, but I'd give Lawson Crouse that money market again tomorrow. I think it brings a lot of elements to the game.
Yeah, but if you talk about a guy who's got 3 consecutive 20-goal seasons, I mean, that's a big 20 goal is a marker that you try to achieve. He's done 3 consecutive seasons. And if I might be incorrect here, Leah, this falls on you because I don't get my days necessarily consecutive. I get them screwed up. Didn't I see something that you tweeted or something that wasn't this the 3rd anniversary of a show with dogs in it?
Oh, yesterday. Yesterday was the second anniversary of Butterpig's appearance on our show.
So this is the next
good
game.
juju was in the air.
There was
coincidence.
Juju in the air. I don't think so. I think Butterpig really carries the load for this Crouse family. I'm sorry. I just think that's where the key to his offense lies with Butterpig.
I mean, he is kind of a big deal. So
he is.
He's a local celebrity.
Yep,
for sure. Oh my goodness. And I'm just going down the list here. One more goal to talk about. Logan Cooley, who's really taken off as of late. It seems like ever since he and Dylan Gunther have been on a line together, he's been successful. And I tweeted from the beat account like that Logan Cooley shift had everything, because it really did. It had a turnover from him, a huge defensive play, and then a goal. And it was funny hearing him talk to Jody Jackson in the intermission. He kind of laughed about how he was freaking out in that moment. But happy for Logan Cooley to see him get his 8th of the season, his 27th point on this one. So got to feel good for him.
Yeah, he played 200 feet there, and he defended first, and I thought that made the difference. And he showed his speed, and it's one of the things I don't think we get to see enough. And I think he'll get that as he gains confidence, is where we'll see that speed more often. I think the speed of the game still has him on his heels a little bit, and once in a while when he gets on his toes and he really gets moving, and you see his speed, you go, oh wow, this kid's got something. But huge goal for him. It was a great shot. You just love to see those glimpses of him. And I think this gives you the positive hope for the future that we've talked about. It was a great goal from end to end, great skating, and a hell of a shot. So flowers.
Yeah, absolute flowers for Logan Cooley. We still have a lot to talk about, but first of all, listen, the Coyotes, they're on a slide. You don't have to be on that slide. You can take control of your life and open a checking account. A Desert Financial
Credit. The marbles and keep going.
Oh, okay. Pot calling the kettle black. Desert Financial Credit Union. Craig banks there. We know if it's good enough for Craig, it's probably too good for you. Desert Financial offers checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit card, investment options, and more. And right now, when you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. So who doesn't want a bonus $200? Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
And you want to take that $200 and make a little bit more? Well, guess what? It's time to talk about the Arizona Lottery's newest game, Arizona Adventure. There are 3 ways to play and win. 1, buy the Arizona Adventure Lottery tickets. There are 3 iconic landscapes: Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain. Or you can check into the geolocated adventures at 10 destinations across the state, from Flagstaff to Yuma. And you can visit azadventure.com for details and directions, and hit check in at destination coordinates on the website, or enter those tickets online to have a chance to win $1 million in cash in Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
Roaring Fork said, Petey chirping from the cheap seats, LOL.
Hey, but buddy, she was gone at the All-Star thing. I had to do that for a week straight, and it was all I did was get carved about how bad my ad reads were. I couldn't make it through one, so it's okay. Leah's got thick skin. She's fine.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, let's read our super chat from our friend Altex, who said, you already know what I'm going to complain about, and I want to speak to whoever's in charge. Don't you dare take away from my precious Curfy. Of course, what Altex is referring to is the 5 minutes and 45-second review for offside. I can't remember a review that's taken that long on a goal.
I got to go off for a minute here.
Okay.
Do either of you guys think for a moment that during the course of that eternal review, they came up with conclusive evidence that that was offside? What did they base it on? That he was reaching back for the puck? Who cares? I had someone text me like, what are these guys, physics guys? Can they tell from that angle? That is not the angle to tell whether it was offside. You can't tell from that one angle because it's behind. The length of that review told me that they were really, really trying to figure out what happened, and they couldn't. I don't think there was any conclusive evidence that that was offside. I really don't. And you saw the two shots right down the blue line, right? You couldn't find the puck because it was lost in the crowd. You couldn't find the puck, so I have no idea how they determined that. Unless you have conclusive evidence, the goal has to stand on the ice. we don't get to talk to officials. We get these lame official reviews from the NHL explaining it, and what it says is, oh, they discovered they found the player was found to be offside. Well, thanks. We already knew that. That was what the whole review was about. Can we ask you what you saw? I'm not saying we should have officials under the microscope of the media all the time. I can't even imagine what that would look like in a city like Toronto. They'd have to have their own media room for questioning after every game. But on calls like this, where there's a lot of confusion, I think we deserve a better explanation for how they were able to overturn the goal. We didn't get it. I didn't see it. I don't buy it. I think that goal should have counted.
I'm going to say something that I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this with the league, but they're all watching the show. I think Gary and Bill are probably watching. I was a video coach in this league when the video review came into play, and when it was first introduced, and we had a room full of video coaches at the draft, and we all sat in there, and they all taught us what this was going to be. And I quote Gary Bettman. I'll mostly quote him because he swore, "We're only looking for calls that are dead effing wrong." And he said that, and he said it twice, dead effing wrong. We're looking for the ones that are major calls. Offsides is major. And goal interference, major calls, dead effing wrong. If it's not dead effing wrong, don't make the call. That's what they told us as video guys. If it's not dead effing wrong, that to me, if it takes you 6 minutes to make the call, it's not dead effing wrong. If it makes you 6 minutes to make the call, it's too close to call by the naked eye, and they couldn't overturn it. That goal should have stood. That's what I saw when it was taking so long. I said, well, they can't say it's dead effing wrong, because we've seen offside reviews, Craig, that they take 3 seconds. It's offside. It's offside.
Like,
yes, that's offside. It's clear. It's easy. It's offside. Yeah. When you're trying to figure out where the puck is in the stands, when people are, it's a black background with a black. I don't know how I still don't know how they saw it. I granted we were watching it on TV. I don't know if their monitors are better, but I couldn't see it. I'm surprised that is not the clear intent of that rule, that it's dead effing wrong, because to me that wasn't dead effing wrong.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of time limit too. If like after 3 minutes you just can't figure it out, just revert to the call on the ice. Like, yeah,
or how about this is 2024, right? We've got a chip in the puck. We can put chips on the blue line. It's offside. That's it. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's coming someday too. Who knows?
I think it is, but again, just going back to the call, no way.
No way. You don't see it.
You shouldn't have overturned that call.
Goal. By the way, that's a hell of a flip by McBain. And it's a great play by Kerfoot, by the way.
It was a great play.
Yeah. I like that Kerfoot.
It's just a bummer, because like that, I mean, the game could have then been tied and the Coyotes could have gone to overtime. And even if they lost in overtime, like they could, get a point or even have the opportunity to win this game. It was just one of those that was a huge turning point. And yes, you can say, okay, Colorado also had a goal, called back for offside literally a minute later. But I don't know, there was also the failed goaltender interference call earlier in the night. So just, man, the refereeing and this one, it was just, whew.
And Colorado's offside was blatant. It was obvious. There was no doubt about that call. Everybody could see it. Yeah.
And it took 5 seconds. The goalie interference one, let's call it like it is, Craig. You say it. We still don't know the rule. We've had the rule in place for 15 years. We don't know. I'll never know. I'll never know. I don't know. All I can do is sit, and this is what happened when Rick Tuckett and I used to go to have a beer after practice and games, and we'd be watching TV, and there'd be a challenge. He would call me out right away. He said, "What's the call? What's the call?" And it would be a test. So I do that every time I see a call. What's the call? On this one, would I have made that call? Probably not. And the reason you make those calls when the player pushes the goalie into the net, no goal. Unfortunately, on this one, he bats the puck into the net. He pushes Vejmelka earlier in the play. We can't see if the puck's loose from there, but if he would have pushed Vejmelka across the goal line, no goal. But because his push caused the puck to come free, and he slaps the puck into the net without pushing the goaltender, and I think that's why that call stood, and that was why.
Well, Petey, I'm going to give you the floor for a minute here, because I referenced earlier that there would be a Petey's Puck Talk on at least the Jack Johnson goal against, but I know you have two.
It'll be quick.
Right?
It'll be super quick, I promise. And here's all I'm doing. I'm not being negative. I'm not burying the Coyotes. I'm not being difficult on the Coyotes. What I want to do is, I've been calling out their defensive zone systems a lot lately, and I want to show people what that means and what that looks like. And this may be maybe they're watching and maybe they'll use it as a teaching tool. So I promise I'll go quick, because if you're listening on audio, it may not be as fun. So go to our YouTube channel so you can check it out later. Danielle, are you ready? Get your finger on the button. Clip number 1. This is Colorado's second goal that ties the game. We'll call the puck going low to high in the zone and go to the next slide. So the puck goes from behind the goal line out to the defenseman. And look at the defense. We talked being on the defensive side means you're between the opposing player and the net. Back it up. Back it up to one, Danielle. I'm sorry. Oh, and there. So see all 5 Coyote players? Coyote players are all in defensive zone position. All of the Avalanche players are in front of them. This is perfect. Everything is great for now. Next. This is where it gets in trouble. First of all, Barrett Hayton on the top of the screen is literally, with the question mark, he is literally defending no one. There is no one up there. There's no one within 20 feet of Barrett Hayton. Barrett Hayton needs to be between the hash marks in the middle of the ice, protecting the middle of it. Has to be. And now you see the top of the screen. There's a Colorado defenseman and an Arizona Coyote right next to him. They're right next to each other. Everything is kind of okay. Wish Barrett Hayton was. We're still kind of okay. Next one. That defender blows by the Coyotes, and he gets to the inside. Now, you look at the Coyotes are not in defensive zone position anymore. They're not on the defensive side. They're on the wrong side. Go to the next slide. Now, it's Jack Johnson. You have 3 Avs, what we call on the inside. 3 Avs on the inside, 4 Coyotes on the outside, which means that the Coyotes players are closer to the net than the Coyotes players. They're still defending literally no one. I don't know where their sticks are out on the ice. There's no one there. They're all at the net. So Jack Johnson shoots, he scores. Next one. He shoots, he scores. Got it. Next slide. This one is the one that really bothers me. Again, defensive side. 3 Coyotes in the circle, down low in the corner. Everything's fine. Dumba's protected in front of the net. This looks good. Everything's good. Next slide. Puck goes again, low to high. And so you know what we should do? We should probably all chase it. Let's all go get the puck. Let's all 5 of us go get the puck. So puck goes low to high. Next slide. And look, we got 3 guys up high already. So where's Nick Schmaltz going? Nick Schmaltz, well, I think I'll go up there too. Nick Schmaltz is standing next to Nathan MacKinnon. The best player on the ice for either team is Nathan MacKinnon. He needs to have someone on the defensive side of him, and that's job is number 8, period. End of story. That's it. Nick Schmaltz has to stay there. Next slide. Well, oh, that was the really good one. See this? So the pass goes back to the top defenseman. 3 Coyotes go to that defenseman. They got that guy. He's covered. Don't worry. He's covered. But Zucker's man, who's the defenseman, Bo Byram, goes down the wing unprotected. We see Schmaltz drifting up to the top. There's MacKinnon down low. No one protecting him. Go to the next slide. Same thing that happened on the last play. 3 Colorado Avalanche on the inside. 4 Arizona Coyotes are on the outside. This is a 3-on-1 at the net with Bo Byram and Nathan MacKinnon. Next slide. Pass through the crease. Easy tapping for the best player on the ice while all the Coyotes watch. My point, it's over. Thank you, Danielle, for doing that. My point is you need to, as well as they were defending the blue line and had 3 or 4 Coyotes at the blue line all the time, do the same thing in front of the net, inside the house. Put 3 or 4 guys inside the house. Protect the middle of the ice by the goaltender. Let them play with the puck up top. Just defend the front of the net better. I think this team gets puck watching too much. I think they chase the puck too much, and I think that leaves too many holes in behind. And that was your defensive zone, Petey's Puck Talk.
Thank you, Petey. That was great.
I got a little ranty. I'm sorry.
I
said it wasn't. I did. It's just frustrating because when we talk defensive zone systems, now I think it gives you a better idea of what we're talking about is their ability to stay with their man all the way to the net instead of chasing the puck. And the system they're trying to play is trying to smother the puck and be very aggressive on the puck carrier and put 2 players sometimes doubling up on the puck carrier. And what that does is it means somebody else is open. And if you're not quick enough to that player, you can't get a stop and you end up with holes like that.
PD, I learn something every time you do one of those. So keep. Can I read you, by the way, the official review just to give you an example how lame these things are? This is from the NHL. Explanation. Video review determined that Arizona's Alex Kerfoot preceded the puck into the offensive zone and was in an offside position prior to his goal.
That's it?
Are you serious?
And they give you the rule from the rule book, which explains offside, which also understand. And then there's nothing more to it. This is the kind of explanation you get from the league. Thank you. They already told us that. Why are you even bothering to give me this explanation when they already said that? Yes. This is what I'm talking about. a controversial play like this, we deserve more.
100% agree. 100% agree. Well, Petey, that was a great puck talk. Much appreciated. If you are ever curious about what it's like to watch a game with Petey, you may have an opportunity coming up. Everybody pencil in, everyone local, pencil in 1 week from today, plus a few hours before the game, because we are planning more details to come, hopefully tomorrow, but we are
At
planning.
Petey's house. We'll send you his address.
Everybody come on over. You know how much I love company.
We are going to do a literal walking and talking with us and the diehards in Tempe. And then we're going to stop by a Tempe food and drink establishment and watch the game together next Sunday against the Winnipeg Jets.
I promise I'm going to bring this. So I am bringing my whiteboard. And we are going to talk hockey. And the good news is this establishment serves alcohol. And my talks get way better after I have a couple of kill lifters. So just buckle up.
Yep, absolutely.
But we can only stay for 2 periods. Just let them know, Leah, because we have to go work then, right?
Yes, but this will be a free event for the diehards. I know we've been talking about wanting to do an event. So just everybody pencil in Sunday, February 25th. And then we have another event that we'll be announcing for March coming soon. So I know we've been a little bit delayed on the events, but they're coming, I promise. So everybody mark your calendar, Sunday, February 25th. We're going to do a pregame walk, and then we're going to do a watch party in Tempe. So
yeah, it's really cool.
Pencil that one in. Make sure you have your PHNX gear. I'm wearing my Arizona versus everybody t-shirt tonight because it's getting a little too warm for the crew neck at this point. Craig's wearing a shirt. Petey's wearing the hoodie, I think.
Yep, I am.
So phnxlocker.com. Make sure you're stocking up. And by the way, Logan Cooley's been on a heater. So get that Logan Cooley shirt. Well, there's still sizes at phnxlocker.com, and become a diehard, of course, so you can read Craig's articles that are for diehards only, including the prospect report that came out last week, and get access to our Discord where we chat all game long. We vent our frustrations about 5-minute and 45-second offside reviews. And then yesterday, Petey did a first intermission report, which also had puck talks in it. So just so many perks to becoming a diehard. We invite you to become a diehard today. I promise you it's worth it.
And then head over to the official sportsbook of the PHNX Coyotes show, the BetMGM Sportsbook. You can bet $5, you get $150 instant. College basketball is in full swing. March Madness is around the corner. And if you are not watching the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team and Caitlin Clark from the logo, buddy, just ride that, because that team is they cover and take the over. Just saying. Easy money. Hockey's playoffs are fast approaching. Sports are more fun. We have some skin in the game. Just like I did today, I had the New York Rangers money line in the outdoor game. Wow. Buzzing, because that looked really, really bad for a minute. And then it got really, really good. Sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application for at least $5. You will receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right. Well, it's the, as I like to call coming up, the O Canada week and a half. Because for the next 12 days, the Coyotes exclusively play Canadian teams home and away. So let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Tomorrow, we have a 2:00 matinee with Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers in town. And then hometown kid Austin Matthews comes home Wednesday at 8 p.m. As the Coyotes face the Leafs. Then a few days off, it's on to Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa. So it is Canada right now for the Coyotes.
Yeah. It's too bad Calgary's not on the schedule, because you'd have all 7 Canadian teams represented in the schedule in the next 2 weeks if they didn't have the home and home with the Leafs. But, what the Leafs does offer them with those 2 games is, 2 automatic wins for the Coyotes.
I was just going to say, it's finally get a win. Those Maple Leafs are coming to town. Finally.
Oh boy. Yeah, I can't imagine what the Canadians watching the Coyotes will have to say online over the next 12 days. So
oh boy, yeah.
Buckle up, everybody. But
we'll get a few radio requests. Can't wait to see what they want to talk about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know. Even on the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, it's like, let's talk about the arena. Okay, I guess. But here in Arizona, we like to talk about other stuff, such as, throughout this 9-game losing streak, there's been a lot of discussion about the coaching and Andre Tourigny and, is he the right guy for this job? And Craig actually wrote about this today. Go phnx.com. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend reading it. But Craig, what did you conclude upon talking to Bear and Bill Armstrong?
That Andre Tourigny ain't going anywhere. And listen, as I said in the lead of this column, I kind of knew the answer before I asked the question, but sometimes you want to give voice to the fan base. There are some people complaining about it. People want answers. People want to know what's going on, what changed dramatically with this team. And I've even had some analysts reach out and say, hey, is Bear safe? And listen, we all know where this team is in its rebuild. We all can look at this roster. We all can look at it rationally, but that's not fans' job. Fans' job is to be passionate about their team. So I came to the point where I was like, okay, I got to ask the question, even if I get chastised for asking the question. And I asked Bill Armstrong the question, is Andre Tourigny safe? And his response was, of course he is. That's a silly question. That was the first quote in the story from Bill Armstrong. So listen, we can talk about it a little here. Petey, I know you have thoughts on this as well. I think this team, and Leah, you mentioned the last time we talked about this, they set very high expectations for the fan base because they played so well early in the season. They overachieved, in my opinion, with what they have on this roster. They were in a playoff spot on January 1st. 7 weeks later, they were 10 points off that pace. Maybe this is too much of a correction. A 9-game losing streak is pretty abnormal, but I think the Coyotes are a team, and we thought all along that was going to flirt with the 500 mark, and that was about as good as it was going to get. So water has sort of found its level here with the Coyotes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. And one, I agree. The one thing Andre does, and we keep saying that he's been able to do up to this point, is build the camaraderie and build that chemistry between players, and the communication line is open and he builds those relationships. We've all agreed with that part of it. And I liked one of the things he talked about today. I wanted to address it in the article that Craig had, because I've been pretty critical about the leadership. And I said, well, they need one of the leaders to come up and put this team on their back, and they need, Clayton Keller or somebody to step up. And Bear's response to that today was, no, there's not one guy that's going to get us out of this. It's going to be a team. It's going to be this is a group. We're going to do this all together. And you know what? I took a step back and I go, he's right. And I've been criticizing and very critical of the leadership. And maybe they've got to find a way to do this as a team and as a group. And I think they took a step forward with that tonight. I thought they were much better as a group and as a team with their effort today. So I really like to hear what Bear has to say about the things that we talk about on the show. So it's great that Craig gets the opportunity to ask him to his face so we know what's going on. So thanks, Craig, for doing that for all of us.
Leah, you got anything to add? I want to touch on one more thing, but I don't know if you had something that you wanted to talk about.
No, just go read the article, because I think it really does a good job of painting the full picture.
The other thing that I like about Andre is that, as he said in the story, and listen, you can say the words, but when you get to know the guy, you understand that he's speaking truth. He's a candid guy anyway. He's his own worst critic. So he's going to examine everything that they're doing. Like, you guys remember last year, he had 200 some items that he was going to go over in the offseason. He had sheets and sheets of things. We need to tweak this. We need to look at this. We need to be better at this. He's going to do the same thing this season, and he's evaluating himself every day. He's going to be hard on himself. He's not happy with what's happening here, but he understands the process, and he's not going to come out and say, yeah, this roster is deficient. He likes his players. He's going to back his players. He's a player's coach. But we have to be able to take that step back and say, yeah, there are plenty of holes with this roster. So they've done some good things. Yes, there are areas where we can certainly open him up for criticism. I think all coaches have blind spots. I saw that with Dave Tibbett. Saw it with Rick Tocchet. You see it with everybody that comes through here. But he's open to self-evaluation. He's open to analysis from others. I don't, at this point, I don't see any way or any reason why you should say goodbye to Andre Tourigny.
Yep, absolutely agree. And you mentioned personnel, Craig. This team is still not where it's going to be one day. Roaring Fork said, I was at the Tucson game last night. Better days are not that far away. Believe me, and it's so true. There's so many prospects ahead. And then you look at teams like Colorado, who already have their guys. They have Cale Makar. They have Nathan MacKinnon. Craig, I know you wanted to talk about Nathan MacKinnon tonight too.
I mean, I'm a voter. I'm a member of the PHWA, and we vote the postseason awards. And I've watched the so-called candidates for the Hart Trophy. This is my guy right now. If I cast my ballot today, I would be voting for Nathan MacKinnon. Listen, Nikita Kucherov's having a terrific chat. I'm not sure if he's in the chat today. He's having a terrific season. And he's probably a finalist at this point. Connor McDavid is doing Connor McDavid things, but Nathan MacKinnon impacts the game in so many ways. That physical side of his game is such a weapon that you don't see with many of the elite players. He can really bull his way into the areas he wants to go. He had 2 hits tonight. He had 9 shots on goal tonight in this game. 9. That's the most by any player this season in the NHL. He is just a force of nature, and he is having an epic season. I'm with you, Petey. I think this team has significant flaws on the back end, and I'm not sure they're going to get there unless they pull a rabbit out of hat at the trade deadline. But Nathan MacKinnon is doing everything in his power to carry them to a second cup.
He's one of the guys you want to go pay to watch. And when you see him wind it up through the blue lines and see him go through the neutral zones, it's unbelievable live. The speed he reaches at his size, and you talked about his physicality. He does that physical play with that speed. He's dangerous. Like we talk about McDavid. McDavid's speed's elite, and his talent and his hands, all those things are very, very true. But he doesn't play with the physical force and separate bodies from the puck like Nathan MacKinnon. He just doesn't. It's a different style of game. And Kucherov is a different animal altogether. I'm curious to see what you see when Arizona native Austin Matthews comes to town, because he's putting up some pretty silly numbers too. But he's not Nathan MacKinnon. Man, he just isn't. And he wows you when he touches the ice. He can take over a game when they're behind by a couple of goals, and you go, God, just put 29 on the ice. They still have a chance. And he has the ability to do that. So fun to watch. I tell you what, though, we'll see how far this Colorado team goes. But yeah, I agree with you, Craig. Absolutely amazing player to watch.
Yep, he sure is. And he will be definitely a part of Team Canada in these upcoming international events, and potentially always a NHL All-Star. One last non-game related thing that we need to mention just because it came out today. So despite there being the Olympics in 2026, the NHL is still holding an All-Star game in 2026, and the location announced, Long Island. I know HK about the All-Star game, but your thoughts?
They got a new arena. They got an All-Star game.
That's it right there. Now, for all those that are planning to attend, I say good luck getting there. It's so hard to get to UBS Arena. I mean, I was on the west side of Manhattan. It took me 2+ hours to get there. It's like a 20-mile drive. It was insanity. I don't know how many hotels there are in the immediate area, but you better stay in the immediate area, not in Manhattan. Or you better rent a helicopter to get to the game, because that is a nightmare getting to UBS.
Yeah, and let's do it in the middle of February.
Exactly.
Because who doesn't want to go to February for an All-Star game in the middle of New York City? Like Toronto, okay, I get it. But people want to go to Florida. They want to go to Dallas, Tampa, Arizona, LA. That's where they want to go for an All-Star game. I get Toronto. I get it. I'll even give you Montreal. But other than that, they want to go somewhere warm.
Long Island? You don't want to go to Long Island?
Long Island.
Is it open that time of year? No, it's not. It's not.
Craig, you're going to that one, by the way.
Next door.
Leah went to the last one. You're going
Long Island.
What's that?
What are you going to do on Long Island?
Buddy, I'm not going. You're going. Leah went last year. You're going this year. Or 26.
Nicholas said, leave now to get to the All-Star game at UBS. Like now.
Go.
That's
very funny.
That is funny.
Funny.
Well, hopefully, I mean, it is one of the things we've talked about in the past of like, if the Coyotes do figure out the arena situation, how elite an All-Star game in Arizona in late January, early February would be. Are you kidding me? The weather this week here, like this is what people move to Arizona for, what we are experiencing right now. Could you imagine an All-Star game here? It would be perfection. So
yes.
We can dream. That is like so low on the list of priorities, but you know.
It was there once. They had it. It was scheduled. Almost.
All right. Danielle said, I'll go. Okay, Danielle, we'll send you out with your camera. That would be great. Roaring Fork, $5 super chat. Why didn't Craig just stay at his place in the Hamptons?
Yes.
I mean, I didn't want to flex. No point.
Craig's place in the Hamptons. Oh
my God.
People are paying attention.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, let's wrap up things with the punch card. And won't you know, the whole line is extras. I also, the symmetry of the overtime loss being smack in the middle of the line is so satisfying. We haven't seen a punch card line like this since 2021 in October. Absolutely crazy. So scary, but yeah, I guess we technically got a couple Connect 4s here, just not the type that we like to see. So
can we do something as a group? Maybe can we decide what number? And we'll have to, when is the next green spot on that punch card? Toronto. Oh, see, we're all in agreement. Okay. I think they're in trouble against Edmonton. Come on. Yeah, I really do.
Why? Because the game starts in how many hours?
Yeah, no.
And Matt Villalta is making his first NHL start.
Okay. Villalta, I told him this. I said he's going to be first star on Monday. He's going to get the over on saves on the BetMGM Sportsbook app, and the Coyotes are going to win the money line. I told him to his face, and he liked it. I love that. Cool kid. Yeah, he was a really neat guy. He's like, thanks, man. Yeah, and he walked away. That's about it.
Mossy, yeah.
I didn't get Mossy, but I think I startled him because I said I know Craig and I work with Craig, and he's like, oh.
Wait, also Charles just said, will the Coyotes reach the Denver airport before puck drop?
Seriously, that's another factor here, right? They have a 2:00 game tomorrow. They're in Denver. Yeah, they got to drive to Kansas to fly out of Denver. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, good job, schedule makers. Good job.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Well, before we wrap up, I am starting to, I might do some painting in my house. That's on the horizon. So my mom and I are in very much home renovation mode. And my mom is actually getting brand new flooring in her house. And of course, I said, you have to use Empire Today, which is what she's going to do. So Empire Today, check them out. You can shop at home. Your own convenience. You can see what the floor would look like in your home digitally. You can find the right product for your needs. The installation is quick and professional, and we saw it firsthand when they came and installed floor in our office. Like the second the workers finished, we got a call. How did everything go? Do you need anything? And they have a price match guarantee. So what more can you ask for when you're doing something big? I mean, getting new flooring, it changes your whole house. It's a big purchase. You want to have the best quality and the best service. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details.
And at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, no one does it better with an unprecedented level of entertainment excitement that you won't find anywhere else in the desert. Their gaming floor has it all with 800 slot machines, 15 blackjack tables, and live table games, and Arizona's largest casino sportsbook. Make sure you check out all the various dining options from Prime A Shula Steakhouse to the Honey and Vine and the all new Santan Mountain. And don't forget about their entertainment, because just coming up in the next 2 weeks at Wild Horse Pass, Turn the Page, a Bob Seger experience. So if you want to hear all those classic Bob Seger tunes, buddy, they're there at Wild Horse Pass. A tribute band is playing all the Bob Seger hits. And the one I'm waiting for, March 8th, circle your calendar right now, Piano Man Generations, a Billy Joel and Elton John experience with father and son piano duos. Terry and Nick Davies are playing all of the songs that you know from Billy Joel and Elton John at the Wild Horse Pass on March 8th. Fantastic entertainment ahead. Make sure you go to their website to check out who else is coming to their theater. And we talked about the theater. All seats are within 75 feet of the stage. Head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what the next level is all about. You do you at Gila Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@gila.com for more details.
Ooh, I'm going to go listen to Bob Seger now.
Are you Bob Seger one?
Are you Bob Seger?
No. Yeah. I was in that era. It's just I think, and here's the, I like good songs, but they literally all sound the same to me. Like 5 Bob Seger songs. Didn't I just hear that song? No, it's a different one, just a different title. It's the same song. They just play it different. Garth Brooks Experience is coming up next week too. So don't miss it.
All right. Well, Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No,
Better?
We'll be back at this. Yeah, they're better. We'll be back at this very shortly. I'll be looking at you guys again in, less than 24 hours.
You know what? And I joked about this. They might be better tomorrow. And this team has played well. Not this particular team, but the Coyotes have played well against Edmonton before. And
Well, a long time.
I know it was
A long time.
6 straight back then.
Right? Should I check Bill Walton before we go? Since he's coming to town?
Yeah, of course.
Jesus. I like watching him up close. I like watching Connor McDavid play live, so that'll be worth it too long.
There you go.
Everyone in the chat's demanding a Tank-a-thon, so I'll run one really quick on my phone.
All right, that's fair.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Coyotes jump up to 2.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty sweet.
I guess we can live with that, right?
We'll take it.
That's a layup, yeah.
That was it. Washington in 3rd. That's fun. So there you go. Up to 2nd. I like that. I like those vibes. Oh, we're gonna do another one, I guess, because I liked mine better.
Yeah, yours is better. I dropped 1 to 7.
See, you should have just let me just do it.
I know, but I had to do it. I had to.
I know.
I wanted to show I could.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, thanks so much for being here in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button on this video, whether you're watching live or later. If you're listening on audio, hit the little 5-star button and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss our weekly audio only shows. And make sure you subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you never miss when we go live and all of our extra content on there as well. There's a lot of fun stuff coming in the upcoming weeks here. So stick around for that. You can follow us on Twitter at Craig S. Morgan, at S. Peters Hockey, at Leah Merrill, at Abrica Danielle, and you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.